Hi, good morning, good evening, sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rio Sato, the CEO and founder of Morris. And Morris is driving the business of silkworm as a nutrition and food. And we are doing our business as a holistic nutrition company. So today's seminar, longevity seminar and nutrition seminar, we are very glad to share our knowledge and the story of the nutrition, and of course including our products. And yeah, so briefly before the starting the session, let me share our vision and our background as well. Yeah, our vision is crafting through tradition, thriving with nutrition. Actually, about silkworm research in Japan, maybe there is the longest history in the world in the industry and R&D in recent decades. However, the industry in Japan so far very shrinking now. However, as a nutrition, there are a lot of paper in China, Japan, India for preventive healthcare as a nutrition. Yeah, so we are now doing our business in the silkworm industry by thriving with nutrition science. And let me share our career. Actually, I'm doing the R&D company. However, I'm not a scientist. The reason why I founded this company is there. Actually, I was playing American football in my college for 4 years, and I was very into a training and muscle and consuming protein and so on. That's why I'm very familiar with nutrition, sports nutrition. And this is my core background of doing my business now. And after that, I was working for the Japanese trading company and responsible for the textile division. And I found it at the time. I've met with the industry of sericulture, silkworm industry. So I came up with a combination between silkworm itself and nutrition as my hobby. And after that, I was working for venture capital and responsible for sourcing and incubation of deep tech seeds from the university institute or the big enterprise to the business. That's why I founded my company with silkworm professor in the National University in Japan. And actually, I realized the very important fact after I founded my company as a nutrition company. The Japanese food and nutritional resources and the high quality of food education is very developed in the world, even compared to other developed countries. And because maybe the history, Japanese history, there are a lot of nutrition education are there. And even in home, a mother and father can educate the children in deeper knowledge about nutrition. Yeah, so it's very natural for us. However, it's very valuable in the world in terms of preventive healthcare in the world. So my ambition is to spread the value of nutrition and knowledge of nutrition to the world. Yeah, especially in this era after COVID, actually. Yeah, so today our specialist and professional team member is gonna share the knowledge of nutrition and our product or our business and so on. So yeah, please enjoy the whole time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ro. Okay, so I'd like to start my part of this seminar. Who attended my last session? Anybody came to our session in February? No? Oh, okay, so you're all brand new, so let me do a little bit of my introduction. I actually got a PhD from University of Illinois almost 30 years ago. So, but I've been in field of nutrition for a long time. I worked for several of multinational pharmaceutical companies like Abbott, GSK, Danone, and now I work for Morris as a head of the research. During my career with Abbott, I actually built a lab in Biopolis. This was 2010, when the Biopolis was very new. I came in as a member of Abbott, and we built a nutrition lab, and this is the lab we built, and this is my team. We're doing the what do you call this, the noodle thing? The hohei, yeah, with my team. So that was good, very good memory. And these are the products that we did the research on from Abbott. I'm sure you've seen these in the supermarkets here. Also, I participated in NDP parade in 2010, and I actually escorted one of the MCs on my bike. So I'm really glad to be back in Singapore. I love this place, and I like the food, and I like to talk about food, Singaporean food today. Okay, so between Daniel and myself, today's session, we'd like to achieve several key points. One is the metabolic reality in Singapore and ASEAN. As you might be aware, the diabetes, obesity, overweight is a social issue, and it's not, other things. I mean, it's not a foreign thing. It's also here as well. Also, we're going to be talking about the supplement and the science. There are a lot of different supplements available in the market, but many of them do not really have solid science behind. And we'd like to discuss a little bit about the myth about the supplement and how to identify what truly works. What supplement is actually with the evidence, what supplement is not. And then the public health meets personal responsibility. And Singapore, I really respect the government is driving a lot of public health policies regarding nutrition. So I'd like to mention a few of those things as well. You might know that already, but I'm very impressed with Singapore. So I'd like to talk about them. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the number called the BMI. Do you know what BMI translates to? It is basically the ratio of your weight and your height multiplied by 2. And the people with 18 to 25, that's considered normal. But if you go beyond that, between 25 and 30, that's considered overweight. And if you go even beyond that, 30 plus, that's called obesity. Obesity is a condition you have a lot of body fat. Overweight basically is that you're heavy, but if you have going to the obesity, it's more of the metabolic issues. And if you look at the overweight population in Southeast Asia, Singapore actually ranks at number 3, behind Malaysia and Thailand, was it? So again, Singaporeans are actually facing this social issue of being overweight and also being obese. Now, in 2024, the government did a national population health survey about the obesity in Singaporeans. And actually, about 12.5%, 13% of Singaporean residents between 18 and 74, they're obese, okay? The obese meaning your BMI is above 30. More common among men than women. A lot of countries, actually, women are more obese compared to men, but here it's opposite. And most prevalent among the adults aged from 30 to 39. So those younger generation, they should be exercising more, But the fact is, 30 to 39, the middle age population is more obese and also overweight. Now, if you compare this to other countries globally, US is incredible. Almost 75% of our population is somewhat overweight, and obesity is, again, it's more, weight than overweight, but it's 36%. If you compare that with Japan, actually we're thin people. Somehow we're doing well in terms of controlling our weight. And again, the Singaporeans, about 11% or so. So, there is an issue in the Singapore. Now, the significance of being overweight or being obese, if you're overweight, there's an increased risk of hypertension, dyslipidemia, insulin resistance. So basically, you're heading towards the lifestyle-related diseases, okay? Now, if you're obese, then it's even more problem. You're strongly associated with the type 2 diabetes, okay? Cardiovascular issues, stroke, cancers, and sleep apnea, and also osteoarthritis. So once you become obese, BMI greater than 30, you face a lot of these health issues. Now, this is the rate of diabetes in Singapore. Actually, Singapore has an issue of increasing the rate of diabetes compared to, let's say, Japan is managing because we eat silkworms. Just kidding. Singapore diabetes population is increasing, and actually this is a prediction for 2030, but now the government is doing something about this, and actually the rate is decreasing. Okay, right now I think it's about 9%. So compared to when this was predicted, Singaporean government took the measures to control this, and it's taking effect. Now, being overweight and being obese, it's a very simple equation. What you eat and what you spend, if it's equal, then you do not gain weight. You gain weight because you don't use enough energy or you eat too much. Okay, it's a very simple equation. I tell this to many people because people think there's a magical supplement that you could lose weight, but I always tell them it's no pain, no gain. You have to do calculation, the calorie calculation, okay? So the first thing to recommend is exercise regularly. That is very important. Last session we talked about the using healthy diet and the exercise and healthy living, okay? But again, the controlling your weight is very important, and exercise, if you exercise regularly, then you should be able to manage your weight. The second thing is the food selection, okay? Now, you might be familiar with the food pyramid. This is a very old food pyramid from 1990s, okay? They used to recommend lots of grain, lots of carbohydrate consumption, and less meat and less, vegetables. But guess what? This 2029 new pyramid proposed by US is opposite. This is a revolutionary event in the food guidelines, okay? They recommend eating more protein, more vegetables, and less carbohydrates, okay? This is, again, the US faces a huge issue with the overweight people, and this is a way to manage public health in terms of the weight management is to eat more protein, good quality protein, and more vegetables and less carbohydrate. And this is the basically simple recommendation is eat protein, healthy, high quality, nutrient dense protein, and use healthy fat. Now, no animal fat, but use like olive oil and so forth. And then eat lots of vegetables and fruits, okay? And then when it comes to carbohydrate and sugar, they really recommend you to limit sugar intake, okay? Of course, the total carb intake should be limited, but they said absolutely no added sugar. Now, this part is what I what I mean, so impressed with the Singapore is they've done something incredible. Now, the controlling portion size is very important, okay? And this is the typical recommendation in Singapore and elsewhere in the world as well. So half of your intake should be coming from vegetables and fruits, 25% carbohydrate, but more complex carbohydrate, and then the 25% from protein source, okay? Now, if we apply this to, let's say, a plate, okay? Then again, if you divide your plate into 4 quarters, 1 quarter should be the carbohydrate, 1 quarter should be protein, like fish, chicken, and then the rest should be vegetables, okay? So it's pretty simple to translate the recommendation into your actual plate. Now, what's more difficult to do is when you go to hawker food center. This is very difficult, but I found this a recommendation which I thought was very good. For example, wonton noodle soup. Ask for more vegetable. Ask to put more vegetable and avoid the soup base, okay? Or this prawn noodle soup. Ask for vermicelli over yellow noodles because yellow noodles are twice as much calorie dense compared to vermicelli. So by switching the noodle type, you could actually take less calories, okay? Coffee. I know I like drinking coffee here because it tastes good, but it's too sweet for me. So when you go to the coffee place, you should be drinking, what do you call it? Kopi siu dai, with a less sweetener, less milk, because condensed milk has got lots of calories, all right? So by selecting what you eat at the hawker center, you could actually convert that into a healthier eating, okay? So these are the very good recommendation, but the more impressive thing about the Singaporean government is implementation of this NutriGrade. I've been doing nutrition for a long time, and to implement this type of system is very difficult because many food companies will resist to doing something like this, okay? So many parts of the world, they cannot implement this. But what it is basically the government will give you A, B, C, D ranking of the food items, which are A is obviously it's better, healthier food, D being a not healthy option. And then they also put the sugar amount, okay? Remember the pyramid? You should not be consuming too much sugar, but for a product with A is at 0% sugar. So it's a lot more healthier, okay? The first thing you should do when you go grocery shopping or whatever, you should really study this nutrition table, okay? And this, a lot of people don't look at this, but this is the first thing I look at whenever I see, when I go shopping. And this is packed with a lot of information that you could digest and make a good choice, food choice. For example, there's a per 100 gram measurement, and you could look at the calories, you could look at the carbohydrate, you could look at the fat, you could look at the sodium, salt, okay? Then you could take this and compare with the other food label per 100 grams, okay? Now the next one is per pack. Okay, how much does this one pack will contain? And then next line is basically how much of the daily recommended value does this provide? So if you, by studying this and by comparing food labels from different food items, you could make a intelligent choice, healthier choice. And then this food grade, they took this food label to the next level and made it a lot easier. I'm sure you've seen some of this pyramid with healthier choice mark, and then also in some food items you see this ABCD with the sugar content 0, 4, 8, 12%. Obviously A is, like I said, 0% sugar, D is 12%. And also the government, the Singaporean government demand companies to say it's a C food or D food, okay? Which is very difficult for the food companies to do. You're like saying, you know, my product is not healthy, all right? That's a very tough thing to do. But that's what the government is forcing the industry to do, which is very brave and very difficult to do, but Singapore managed to do so. And I'm very, you know, impressed. I tried to do this in Japan, could not do it. Could not do it because all the industry, you know, food companies resist putting this on the food labels. I just went to a cold store and I saw this firsthand. I mean, I took a few photos. Apple juice is D, saying it's got a lot of sugar. Don't buy it. And then you got the drinks with C, you got drinks with the B. I mean, food items with B. So obviously you should be buying A and Bs. Okay, so those are the healthier choice. But again, I'm so impressed that the Singaporean government is moving with this. So we talked about diabetes, overweight, and I said you got to have the intake and the usage equal so you don't gain weight. And these are the things you could do to manage weight or the blood sugar, okay? Is, like I said, modify your carbohydrate intake, adjust meal consumption, what you eat. I mean, you are what you eat. So if you adjust to what you're choosing to eat, you can make difference in your body. And then you could eat the food in the right order. Like a lot of people say veggie first. Yeah, if you eat a lot of vegetables, you get full. Then you eat, fatty food first, then you're full with the fatty food. You consume more calories, therefore you eat more, you consume more calories. Portion size, always keep in mind how much you're eating. The portion, remember the 4 segment, 25%, 25%, and 30%. And Daniel will be talking about the supplements. You could use these supplements in an effective way, but only those with the evidence, okay? That there's a lot of supplements that tell you wonderful things like a dream. Doesn't happen, okay? Make sure you study the label, marketing materials, and see if the supplements are really going to be advantage for you. Physical activity, not just the post-meal, but you should always exercise. Meal timing, you should not binge late at night. I know right now is, I guess, Ramadan time. People eat at night, which is not really recommended, but if you try to shift the calories evenly within the days, it's better for you, your blood glucose management and also the insulin management, okay? And those of you, Keisuke has a little monitor with him. He's monitoring his own blood glucose. But that you could do that too, if you're really into, knowing what your body's doing, then you could monitor blood glucose. And then the most important thing is to maintain healthy body weight, okay? So with that, I'd like to introduce Daniel, who's going to talk about Singapore health supplement trend and opportunities. And Daniel is he's a very famous person in the supplement industry. He is a founding chairman of ASEAN Alliance of Health Supplement Association, which basically harmonized all the supplements within the ASEAN countries. And he's an immediate past president of the Health Supplement Industry Association of Singapore. He's a president of everything about the supplements. And he's a long-standing management committee member of the UN Global Compact Network Singapore, UN, okay? So as you can see, he is, those people in the supplement industry, everybody knows Daniel. So with that, Daniel, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Seiji-san. So I think what I wanted to do today is really give you an idea of the simple health supplement statistics, it's also reflective of ASEAN, not just Singapore, but I focused on Singapore since this is where we are. You will notice that over the past many years and into the future, the prediction has always been that supplements, the value of supplements sold in Singapore will always go up. And then you will see each band is actually getting bigger also. And there are so many supplements on the market. You can just go to any store, supermarket, and you can see a whole wall full, right? And then many shelves. So it's getting very popular. And why is that? Well, I mean, we estimate the market size is going to be about over $1 billion by 2030. But the important point is that over 60% of adults use supplements. So chances are we all take a supplement, right? And later on, I will go through some possible supplements that are getting popular. So as I mentioned, we have a mature pharmacy and e-commerce distribution as well. So more and more people are buying their supplements online, not just at the physical stores. And there's a strong consumer health preventative awareness. So the key thing is people don't want to get sick, right? In the past, it doesn't matter. We just do what we want. And then if we get sick, then we go and see a doctor. But now, people are more aware. That's why there's the new BMI and all the controls that people are taking to try and keep their body in a healthy state. Okay. I thought I'd just also share with you which are the so-called popular areas. So immunity, healthy aging, metabolic rate, metabolism, gut health, and cognitive, surprisingly. And I think you have to compare this interest to the demographics in Singapore. By 2030, 1 in 4 Singaporeans will be over 65. That's a huge number. So obviously with the aging population, you know what everybody will be worried about: rising chronic lifestyle conditions. Yeah? And then there will of course be an increased focus on preventative health. And I think nutritional interventions are gaining attention. So I want to do something to stay healthy, prevent myself from getting sick. And some of the emerging functional ingredients include adaptogens. You can see from the pictures, from mushrooms, from root vegetables. It's basically all these plant-based peptides, or whatever you call them, bioactives, that will help, say, your immunity, reduce inflammation, that kind of thing. So too with postbiotics. You've heard of prebiotics, probiotics, and these are postbiotics. So this will be after the probiotics have consumed whatever they have consumed, and then after that there's something beneficial in terms of benefiting your body in some way, right? Improving your gut health, for example. Then there's functional peptides. So these are like peptides that will basically help you to maintain your homeostasis, right? That means your healthy state. Other things that are popular now are plant bioactives. So you see the natural supplements coming to the fore. So plant bioactives. So a similar effect to, say, adaptogens. It also helps you suppress inflammation, for example. Then what we are here today also to discuss is insect-derived bioactives. So there are various different things that insects are traditionally used for as well, but that's becoming more modern. Okay, so on top of all this, I think there's also increasing awareness that we need sustainable nutrition innovation. So there are other protein sources, not just meat. So there's vegetables, there's algae, and then there's this lab-grown meats, so there are alternatives coming about, lower environmental footprint ingredients, that speaks for itself. Circular agriculture models, so basically when you grow things, you try and cycle them. You try and grow certain crops together with certain fauna, right? So you try to make sure that there is a loop, basically. So they can use their own, for example, you use manure as a fertilizer, for example. And then nutraceutical innovation aligned with sustainability. And I think that's one of the things that you can see as it's a trend. So people are more aware of, okay, how is this packaged? And how is this developed? For example, is it a natural product? How long was, how much was the amount of input, for example? Okay, so those are some trends. As for silkworm-derived bioactive compounds, I think there are many research areas, and I think metabolic regulation, antioxidant activity, functional protein nutrition, traditional ingredients. So you know what silkworms were traditionally good for, is blood glucose, for example, right? Modernized through science. So it's important how a traditional item gets to you as a supplement, right? So it's, so very, very different these days. In the past, you used to take it through food. Okay, then as healthcare opinion leaders, I think all of us do realize how important recommendations from friends or family are. And if you have an opinion, so what are the things that you need to look for? Firstly, you have to be aware that more and more research is coming out. So you have to be, I guess you have to be aware of what research is coming out for your particular interest. And you need to guide responsible supplement usage, right? You can't just go and take everything. You've got to make sure that it's, firstly, it's good for you, it's proven, and you cannot just take it. You've got to follow the instructions, basically, right? And you must support evidence-based nutraceutical innovation. So in other words, if you discover something that is good, it works, you should come out and say that it works for me, right? So you have to be, first of all, evidence-based. And you will see that a lot of Singapore, there's one study that I'm very interested in particular. It's called the Helios study, right? And they're targeting 100,000 Singaporeans to do this study. And it will cover everything, your diet, your exercise, your different body conditions. So I think, and they'll even ask you what supplements you're taking. And this is a longitudinal study, so over many years, and they're going to follow these 100,000 people. So I'm very interested in that, because ultimately, what you want to do is you want to provide trusted advice to consumers. Yeah. So as a person who believes in health supplements, we ourselves, if you are taking a certain health supplement, you have to firstly know what effect it has on you. Sometimes it's not so easy to feel, but you do know over longer term consumption whether it improves your condition or not. And so similar to today's topic. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have for you. Perhaps we could go to the discussions. Oh, okay, he's going to present first.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so From now, I'd like to give a quick, brief presentation of our company and our product, KAIKO. Sorry about that. So I think it was very insightful. We had a lot of information. If you have any questions, I think you scan the QR code. So you can, if you have any question, we'll have the QA session later, and we'll kind of pick those up to kind of have interactive sessions. So please feel free to text it. And I'll give you a brief, give me about 5 or 10 minutes from now. Okay. So my name is Keisuke. I am COO and head of the business development for Morris. So our company, just as Ro mentioned in the first section, we're from Japan, but we see Singapore as our first market, our primary market. It's kind of even peculiar in Japan that a startup starts its business from abroad rather than their home country. But I think Seiji kind of clarified the reason. We start off with the market where it has the most need. Okay. So our vision, may I repeat that we are crafting with tradition, thriving with nutrition, and we're tackling those global issues with the power of silkworm. And the overview of our business is, like I said, we're starting off with the nutraceutical section with the global market. When you see silkworm as a protein, you may kind of infer it to like an alternative source of existing proteins like cow, chicken, pig. But we're not going in there yet. We're starting from the nutraceutical side, leveraging its potential to reach the premium market. So we're utilizing silkworm larvae and making it into an ingredient for healthcare and F&B section. But since it's a very novel ingredient, we're starting off to manufacture a finished product by ourselves so that it can be a good showcase to see how it can be accepted into the actual consumer market. And that's the name of our brand, KAIKO. Okay. So a little introduction about silkworms. Have any one of you seen an actual silkworm? Ever touched it? Oh, have you breed it in your house or something? Or, okay. Okay, for those of you who aren't really familiar with silkworm, it has 3 characteristics we really are fascinated about. Okay, one, it's very big, it doesn't escape, and it does no cannibalism. Okay, so silkworm has been with us for a few millennials. Okay, ever since the era of Silk Road in China. Okay, so it's an insect that's been cultivated by human beings for a very long time, and it's very fit for us to raise. So that's very fit for mass production. Secondly, it's actually very tasty. They only feed on mulberry leaves. You may be surprised. I'll let you be surprised later with our cheers. But since it only feed on mulberry leaves, it actually tastes like matcha. Okay. It's really white on the skin, so you can't imagine it, but it's really actually a very bright green inside. Okay, so that's why it kind of fits in the F&B sector. Lastly, it has a unique nutrient, and I will kind of clarify later again. A compound called DNJ that has an effect to suppress blood sugar spikes, as well as silk proteins that has an effect on gut health and so forth. Okay. And these all research are the cutting edge results from Japanese research. Okay. First, couple centuries ago, Japan, when they kind of opened up its market globally, sericulture and the silk industry was their signature industry to derive the economic growth. Okay. That's when they collected all the silkworm research from around the world, and it still stands out to date today. Okay. So even though the silk industry itself, the clothing, the textiles, It's been outrun in a global competition, but we feel that if we put the aspect to healthcare and F&B on this sericulture, it still has a big potential in the market to revive the entire industry. Okay. A little drill down to the clinical side of silkworm. This is the research we've done, led by Seiji, about silkworms. This focused on the effect of suppressing those after-meal blood sugar spikes. You can see that the placebo group compared to the group that digested or consumed our more silk powder 10 to 15 minutes before meal showed a significant difference in the post-meal blood sugar. Okay, 35% decrease in the blood sugar after 30 minutes. So this is pretty significant. They didn't take this ingredient for like a week or two. It's just a one-time evidence, one-time shot, and boom, you have this result. So it's not a medicine, it's not a food, but we think it's something in between that has a very prominent effect on those who have those diagnoses. Okay. And there are a lot of other alternative solutions that says it has effect on managing your blood sugar. Okay. Mulberry leaf is one. This is the actual diet silkworm has, but since it's a plant and it's not really accumulated, it does take a lot of dose to have that particular effect. Pretty common thing is digestible dextrin. It's you can see this in a lot of food and supplements, but it's kind of like making a barrier inside your gut. So it does take time to see an effect, and it doesn't have that very much instantly. Okay. And then there's the medicine. Okay, it's actually for treating diabetes, but in some countries, it's used as weight slimming medicine. Okay, it's becoming an issue in some countries like U.S. It has an effect. It does, lower your weight, but at the same time, it gives you a lot of like nausea, trembling hands. It's very costly. Okay. So more silk covers those disadvantages. You don't have to take a lot. A small dose will do this effect. Doesn't have side effect. It's very natural. The only downside is that it's an insect. It has a very similar allergens to like crabs and shellfish. Okay. When you go down to their ancestors, they're very close together as a species. So those who are allergic to that, I'm sorry, you may want to refrain from drinking today. Okay, but that's like the only disadvantage. Okay, yeah, I emphasized a lot about blood sugar, but actually there is a lot more to this silkworm function. Right now we're under research of clarifying all the potential functions found in papers and previous researches on the left side. From the top, we have bioavailability. So silkworm, by consuming the mulberry leaves, they are seen to like accumulate and then transfer those minerals so that human beings can be easier to kind of consume, absorb. Okay. It contains polyphenols, so it have antioxidant effects. We have a lot of plant-based sterols, which contributes to lowering your cholesterols. Kitchen, silk proteins like psilocin and fibroin, these contribute to your gut health. Okay. We have this peptides found in silkworms that have a potential effect on lowering your blood pressure. Okay. All these come from just one single ingredient, silkworm. I think when you look out the world, you see a lot of supplements, you'll have a lot of food that has all the multifunction effects. But in reality, those kind of combine multiple ingredients to gain that effect or those claims, whereas silkworms, one does it all. So in order to kind of clarify and make this more clinically relevant, we're going through research with A-STAR. We are having several pinpoint topics to discuss, and once we get these evidence ready, I think we can, add value to our current KAIKO products. So please watch out for that. Okay, so long story short, our more silk, or the silkworm powder, is clinically relevant, multi-metabolic, and it's single natural ingredient. And then, so in order to kind of introduce this into the market, we put this into the brand called KAIKO. Okay. So you can, I think, there's a brochure in the back. We have our online site ready, so if you'd like to check out more details about the product, you can look it there. It's already available in Singapore. Okay. And then we have 3 SKUs. You don't have to read all this, I'll explain it later. But we have the supplement type, the D&J Plus, protein type mixed with silkworm with whey protein, and silk matcha mixed with more silk and silkworm powder. So, which one's for you? Those who are, value result, who wants to be efficient, take the D&J Plus. No fluff, just results. Okay, so it's in capsule form. It's completely just the silkworm powder. So just pop it in right before your meal, and you have that effect. Okay. Your ritual elevated. Those who value, the ritually, you want the savory taste of silkworm and matcha. Take silk matcha. It's 40% silkworm powder and 60% matcha powder from Japan. Okay. And the last one, lean from the inside out. Okay. So this one contains silkworm powder, whey protein isolate, premium matcha, and a scent of yuzu. Okay. So since it contains whey protein, it's more like the holistic, balanced diet. Okay. And this is just an advertisement. So just for those who came here, we'd like to give you a limited offer of one-time purchase. Okay. You can take a look at the actual products behind you. Just tell us, one of us, if you're interested. We'll give you the QR code. And normally, it's pretty pricey, but we'd like to give a discount offer just for today, exclusive offer today. So, yes, for D&J Plus, give to 168, protein powder 119, and then silk matcha. Actually, we have a short shelf life for this, so we'd like to give a big discount. Okay. Just in case you're wondering where it comes from, we call it soil to supplement. As we're based in Japan, we have our own mulberry farm, and we have our own partners in Japan that farms the actual silkworms. And our factory that actually does the grinding and assembling is all in Japan. And we ship it from there and have a warehouse here in Singapore as well. So it's pure Japan made. If you ask me, I can track down which silkworm came from which prefecture, which leaf, which silkworm which they eat. Okay. Okay. So I did a lot of introduction about our product, our supplements, but this may sound controversial, but in the end, if I was asked what I was selling, what we were providing, I wouldn't say we were providing any supplements or ingredients or health foods. I think our ambition is to give everyone the right to eat freely for life. Okay. So I'm not sure if any of you here are have any symptoms or any diagnosis right now, but everyone has the possibility to be in that stage. And that one day when that diagnosis comes, that'll kind of affect what you're eating right now, okay? And if you can't eat a certain thing, then that might affect your family, your friend. They might be very anxious about what you eat, and that might kind of stress you out. Okay, so we want to release you from that. Okay, I think we exist to make sure that that day does not come. Okay, so that kind of wraps up my presentation and overall session. So let's could go into the QA sessions for featuring Seiji and Daniel. Okay. So if you two will kind of come up.
Okay, do you have any questions throughout my presentation, Daniel's, Keisuke's? Anything within the topic, outside the topic? It doesn't matter. Yes?
Thank you for the talk. I have one question for each of you. Thanks for the talk. I have a question, one for each of you. For the preclinical part, what is your target audience that you think is suitable for this? Because what you have shown is that you take something just before eating and the sugar absorption, the peak is less. So is it for someone with diabetes or someone without? And which one do you feel is going to work better?
I think, we're a nutraceutical, not a drug, right? So if you're diagnosed with diabetes, then perhaps you should stick with the, pharmaceutical. So we like to target more the pre-diabetes population.
Why not the diabetes and add to it? So every single diabetic in the world will take your drug, your pharmaceutical.
I mean, they could use, but some countries you cannot promote supplement towards a diagnosed disease. I don't know about the Singapore. Can you do that?
My second question
Yeah.
is for regulatory approval wise, comparing countries in Southeast Asia, which countries is easier to market this and which is not, and how do you market it by regulation?
Okay. Actually, surprisingly, Singapore is the easiest market to get into because you can just sell, right? And then the regulations will come through post-marketing surveillance. So they will take the product and test, and they will rotate. So surprisingly, this will be the easiest market. Other markets like the CLMV countries, they don't have regulation yet. So it will be harder because then you have to justify. As for the claim, I think the Singapore, because we count this as supplements here, so therefore you cannot claim to cure disease. So you can say it may be good for lowering blood glucose, but you cannot claim to cure.
Same in Japan, there's a functional food category. You cannot make claim about the disease or management of the disease, but you could say support to manage your blood glucose. That's the extent we can go to.
How about for Thailand and Indonesia? Are they regulated?
Oh yes, and they have long-standing regulations. So it's hard to get in because they have pre-market approval. Right. So you have to produce all your documents and everything before you even get your product in. So sometimes that's difficult because like Thailand, they want you to do the test in Thailand. On Thais, that is going to already be quite difficult. Yeah.
Maybe because I do a lot of clinical trial for patients, I feel that patient proportion may be the way, but it's probably a strategy for the company. To say that it's not medicine, but it's something that helps you while you are taking the real medicine. Functional.
Yeah. We're also pursuing the channel of clinics. Some clinics sell supplements to their patients.
My clinics all sell supplements.
Yeah, so not you guys talk to him afterwards. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Since the product has been in Japan for 5 years already, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in Singapore. So in Japan, who are your top 3 biggest target audience for consuming this supplement? Just curious.
Well, first, like we've been targeting diabetes, and not diabetes, overweight, obese population. And then we are going after also a beauty population as well. And because we're pursuing the gut function as well. If you have a healthy gut, you tend to feel better and so forth. So that's that. And what else? Who else do we have? The target population.
Actually, our 70%, more than 70% of our customer is ladies. Ladies who are very conscious for beauty and health. So we're now selling our product in the personal Pilates studio as well. Yeah. So yeah, beauty and health target as well.
Okay, thank you.
And in Singapore, we've been doing some promotion about the after meal, crash or sleepiness. Because the blood glucose does not go up high, you don't get sleepy after a big meal. Yeah. Any other questions? Did any questions come out through the QR?
Yes, we have one. How would you tell apart from a fraud to the actual trustworthy supplements?
Well, you saw the clinical data that was done with what's called the OGTT, oral glucose tolerance test. And like it was explained, the product was consumed 15 minutes before 80 grams of carbohydrate was consumed. So that translates to 200 grams of steamed white rice, which is a standard glucose tolerance test. And we were able to show 35% reduction in peak size. And also the area under curve was about 30% less than the placebo. So, we have the clinical data. Some supplements don't even show that. Or some supplements, they conduct studies in animals and, see it behaves the same in the human, but that's not true in many cases. So, to be able to show human clinical data is, I think, very important. We'd like to do a long-term study, intervention study using this product for 3 months and see how that affects the hemoglobin A1C, which goes up, with the diabetes and so forth. So that we'd like to do. Actually, we've been talking to SIFB under A-STAR to do this study using Singapore population because it's meaningful to do in a population we're selling the product to. So, you're consuming the diet, that's local diet, and then we could intervene with the product and see what kind of effect it will have. So that's coming. Yes?
I have a question. My name is Aaron Kwek. I am from Sabah. Sabah, we eat the cocoon, right? It's called putuk. I mean, we have been eating that in the palm tree, the jungle. But I just wanted to know, in Japanese, have you guys started eating silkworm? What is the relationship? Because right now you're bringing to Singapore. I mean, have you tested in your own people? Just want to know. Thank you.
Why are we in Singapore first?
No. What I mean is that because in Sabah we do eat cocoons for food. But I want to know whether in Japan, have you guys eat the silkworm? Because you use your silk, but do you guys cook for food, part of your dishes or ingredients as a dish in your traditional meal? Thank you.
So, I mean, the consumption of silkworm goes back to long time, actually.
Yeah, thank you. Because I've been to Japan, nobody showed me that you guys are eating silkworm.
Oh, nobody shows you.
I went to Japan many times, just last year.
Please come next time. We'll take you to a silkworm restaurant, maybe. No, just joking. But the people actually consume silkworm pupa, not larva, because it was a byproduct of silk industry. After you pull silk from the cocoon, there's a pupa inside, and that was used as a food and protein source by many, especially post-war, was deficit of nutrition in Japan. A lot of people actually consume that. We're using larva, which is just before they spit out silk. So the larva itself is packed with nutrition, including silk proteins. Okay, so it's actually a new thing to eat or to consume silkworm larva.
Adding on to the last question, Seiji, so you have a lot of literacy in telling apart, what's right and what's wrong when you look at the labels. So if I'm a consumer, I don't have much intelligence or knowledge. What should I look for to tell this supplement is actually, it works, it has evidence or not? Is there like a sign that I should look out for to watch out?
Well, even trusted big companies lie to you, and that's the fact. They do very smart marketing and make their supplement look good. Okay, but you often fooled by that. 82% of supplement on the market, they're all bullshit. Okay, but they manage to sell products to you. Okay, the system, ABCD system, there's no lie to that. Okay, that's not for supplement, but similarly, if there was a scoring system like that for a supplement, I would love to see that, because 82% of supplement will be D supplements. I forgot, I did not show you the evaluation of sports nutrition supplements. I represent the ISSN, which is the International Society of Sports Nutrition. They've done a comprehensive review of all the evidence in sports nutrition, but they only have a handful of supplements that are trustworthy, comes with as evidence. And same thing for IOC. IOC published a paper that tells you only a few supplements are legit. The rest are basically crap. So, I know you don't read scientific literature, but just to be aware that many of the supplements are just a scam. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I can just add to that, since
I was very negative about supplements.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I think it's important for the audience to realize that actually the Singapore authorities, they don't check for efficacy, zero. Same as all in ASEAN, nobody checks for efficacy. You can claim within a certain range of allowable claims. And as you said, sometimes they just take from somebody's paper and they make a claim.
Yeah.
So ours contains this, and therefore we claim that. So it's hard to evaluate. You need to, I think, ideally go for the clinical trials. Those have got tests on humans. Many have got up to animal testing, and they already make claims. Okay. But obviously, the only factor the authorities consider is just safety. Okay.
Is it the same for all around other countries?
Yes, safety.
How
They
do you
don't.
decide which is safe and which is not safe?
As long as it doesn't have certain poisons on the poisons list, there's a whole list that you cannot have these substances in your product.
Yeah. And I think, based on my experience too, supplements that works for you, you feel it, right? If you don't feel the effect, then it's not working for you. I think same for Chinese medicine as well, right?
Oh, yes.
Some Chinese medicine is suitable for you, may not be suitable for other people. If you think it's working for you, then I think it's okay. I know there's something called a placebo effect, which is also true. There's a study that was done with nothing, placebo, and then supplement, and actually the placebo group did the better sprint time. And it's a psychological thing too. So it's, again, supplement is a very difficult thing to do, but if you look for the hard evidence, like I say, it's very difficult to find hard evidence, but you should, just when you look at the marketing materials, just kind of, going from doubting the information that the companies give you to sell their product, and just always question, is this right? Is this the proper science behind the product?
Yeah, from an association point of view, is like that, because all comers, right? You've got all very similar things, but there are some things like vitamins, you know what they're supposed to do. So those are already published. But there are others that you don't know, but it's still marketed.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Let's make this the last one.
Hi, my name is Xiao Chan. Hi, sorry, actually I came in a bit late, but I still have just like a few questions to ask. Actually, talking about I think supplements being having a scandal. I think I read the news about a certain company. I shall not say. I think everybody heard about it. There was a scandal with their products. It's also called supplements. I think it's like Koji, and then they have to recall the entire products. Yeah, it's quite a famous company. So that kind of reminds me of that incident. Also, myself, actually, I've been taking, I think it's also called supplements. I think there's this one section in Guardian or in every pharmacy in Singapore, you have this. And I think similar products. I take the other product, I think, maybe I should not name it, but the one that stops, they say reduce absorption of sugar and carbohydrates. So yeah, I think probably this goes to that category as well. So my question is, how do you differentiate this product from the existing products that seems to have similar function? And also, I would say as a consumer, my consideration when choosing which products to go to, and also, yes, I understand for a lady, I think at this age, I'm also conscious about, keeping my weight and shape. So I think one of the factors I always consider is price. And Japan, because of imports, the price is always quite high. So that is there anything you are doing about keeping your products competitive in terms of price? Yeah, thank you.
We can talk about the price. But the DNJ that is in our product, it's called the deoxynitromycin, which is a known inhibitor of what's called the alpha amylase. It stops the enzyme that digests starch into glucose. Okay, so therefore it doesn't get absorbed. So the mechanism is very clear and it's been proven. Yeah, so that's difference from, I don't know what's out there. That he explained about the resistant starch. It's a different mechanism. Okay, so our DNJ is no mechanism. And then the results shows.
In terms of pricing, that's what we're working on really heavily on. Okay, so this technology and the process of producing silkworm powder insect from silkworm, it's very special. We look for hundreds of companies in Japan that has the ability to do it, or we have partnered with them, and we've gone through a lot of exploration, and I think this goes same for all manufacturing companies, but the more volume we are able to make, I think more efficient we will be, resulting in more competitive pricing. So right now we're still in this very early stage of our business, which kind of results in a bit premium section. But over the course of our business, we aim to lower the cost and be more beneficial, maybe divide the lines to different segments. Okay. So please anticipate those future. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? So, sorry, I think I missed out one question coming from the Slido. What is the process of producing silkworm powder? Are there any additional ingredients or additives mixed in? Okay, so in details, I cannot tell you. It's protected. It's a bit confidential. Please reach out to me if you are interested, but I can say there is no additives or any additional ingredients to make this powder. So it's very clean, it's very transparent. I can guarantee you that. Okay, I think that wraps up our seminar. I think you guys are all starving. We have our caterings in the back. We'll kind of like to kick off our networking. Oh, thank you, Seiji. So before we dive into our food, I'd like you to kind of gather around the table behind you. We have a cup of glass ready for each of you. This is our silk matcha, okay? A combination of more silk and premium matcha. So like I said, if you're allergic to like shellfish, please save yourself. But if you're not, please take please a drink. Yeah, thanks for kickstarting. Okay, I was gonna do some kanpai, but who cares? Okay, okay. Thank you guys. After we do the cheers, we'll start off the networking. If you have time, please stick around. I love to collect feedbacks from you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so please gather around. Let's do some cheers.